viewers, and welcome to From the Dailies on ECWA TV Africa, where we run down some stories that are making the headlines from our Nigerian newspaper. And happy International Mother Language Day. I am Sarah Elisha Dasham, and with me in the studio is Tosi Owolabi. Tosi, good morning.
Good morning, Sele.
How was the weekend?
Fine, how was yours?
Great, thank you. Yes, we have quite a number of very interesting stories, and we shall be running them, starting with the Daily Trust newspaper.
Yes, and on the Daily Trust, we have tons of pomo that can cause deadly disease imported to Nigeria, and this is a discovery by NAFDAC. And we know in year 2020, there was this same discovery where they intercepted those women that use the chemical that is used for embalming the dead body. They use it to preserve this pomo in order to make it attractive and stay for a long period of time. And believe you me, Sele, this is poisonous to people who consume it. And now we are having the same issue again because pomo that has been imported, you can see that chemicals are used in preserving it. And now when people consume it, is deadly to their health. That's no wonder we see that the rate at which people die is all of a sudden is increasing because of the way foods are being preserved in the market. Just for you to have a long elasticity of your produce, you use the wrong things to preserve it, and it's harmful in the life of people. And this is good that NAFDAC have intercepted these people. They should still look out for others, because out of greed and selfishness, you should not endanger the life of people who consume your product.
Yes, Tosi. And sorry, before you go further, I think it's not just like you said, NAFDAC have discovered, and you know, I remember even not in the papers, even on the news, there were lately where apart from the pomo, stockfish, bananas, oranges, even mango, sometimes people use some products that are not good for the body. No wonder we have lots of diseases coming up and nobody can tell from where. And I'm just happy that NAFDAC have taken that step. This should be an eye-opener that they should inspect every other foodstuff that we consume in the market.
Yes. Hard times for passengers as airline raise fares by 100%. Nigerian airstrike targeting terrorists kill children in Niger Republic. And the big story says 8 months after abduction, 13-year-old schoolgirls married off to bandits. The rider says 3 pregnant students released to parents and 12-year-old Bethel students remain in captivity. Over 10 captives still with abductors, and we are working for their release. And there's a chart here on abduction dates in which people were abducted and also dates in which they were released by the military. So still talking about insurgency, still talking about insecurity, and even surrounding the educational sector, because we've had stories where our school children were abducted and in captivity, and now we are seeing that 13-year-old school children are married off. You can see the rate at which young ladies are being molested and forcefully raped, and now we can see them being married off out of their will and even give pregnant. And we've had stories that some have even given birth even in the den of captivity, and now we are seeing some have been released to their parents. But what about the trauma? What about the trauma they are faced with? Because being in such position, being in such situation for over 13 months, it's not easy, because it has so many trauma in the life of those people. We heard of the Afaka school children where the parents said the students don't behave normal any longer because of things that they've seen, things that they've been exposed to. And you know that after the release, they don't have the opportunity to go back to the hospital for some psychological tests to be taken on them. They're just allowed to mingle back with their parents, and you see that the parents will see some kind of restraint in the life of their children and some kind of things they do that they are not supposed to do, unlike how when they were normal, when they were around, when they've not been abducted. So a whole lot of things need to be done when you talk about security, and even all those children that are have been released back to their parents, they should not just leave them like that. They should go through some psychological tests, so that some tests will be taken on them to know their state of health and even their state of mind, because it's not easy to be exposed in such place. They've seen so many things, and you understand the trauma in their life. And the parents also, it will not be easy mingling back with these people because of what the traits they try to possess and the things they try to do. But it's a good thing that they've been released back to their parents, and we still hope that those that are still in the den of these kidnappers will look out for someday that they will be released. And even the security should launch in more attack, because we don't want to hear that these children have been released pregnant, or released with children, or released in being deformed. You understand? So something needs to be done. We should not just be relaxed. The security need to launch in more measures, more tactical means in releasing these children. And we'll look out for a day where the school environment will be free. We will not have issues where students that have gone to school to study will be abducted and their whereabouts will be unknown to their parents and even to the guardians and the school authority.
You know, Tosi, it really baffles me, and then this brings to mind that we need to ask the government, what are they doing concerning this? Because we're already having 13 unit school girls married off to bandits. I mean, this will bring to mind, you begin to ask questions, who are the sponsors of this bandit, that you have so much audacity and guts to get married in, you know, daylight, and nothing is being done? I mean, you know, you will begin to ask questions, what is the government doing about this? We are tired of hearing 13 students have been rescued. Yes, we are happy that they are rescued, but just like you brought to light, how about their trauma that they've gone through? You know, just within the weekend, I actually saw a story of 2 young boys, I think just ages 7 to 8, with a baby. They tied the baby on a tree and they said they are practicing how to go about kidnapping. Tosi, this has gotten so bad. And something needs to be done about it, because if we don't make this society free now, we are going to definitely have a time where nobody is going to be free, and even the people who feel they are living top there with security agencies, they will no longer be safe. I always say this. I said, if you think because you are up there you are safe, believe you me, one day we'll get to the point whereby when they are done with all the masses, it will get to you there. So why don't we do something about, you know, tackling it now? We always talk about, we have the need that the SIM cards have been registered. I begin to wonder, how do these kidnappers and bandits get to communicate to people? Can't they track them? Are we afraid of them? We're not. I mean, if you look at our population and the government, we have all it takes to you know, capture them. But it seems we are being, you know, relaxed about it, and we feel that because it has not gotten to me, it will get to everyone one day if we don't do something about it. Because there's no country, there's no state now in the 36 states that is safe. No matter where you go, you definitely hear that there's one kidnap, there's one badly, something is just going not right. We really need to make this country a very palatable and a good place where we will all want to invest in, we all want to live in. We will stop having the number of people that want to leave this country getting high and high every day. The doctors are not safe because they're also looking for a greener pasture. Students are not happy because the school environment is no longer safe for them. ASU is on strike. Lots of things are going on. We really need to look into this issue and tackle it as soon as possible.
Definitely. And still on Daily Trust, APC to postpone convention over unresolved crisis. And we know the convention is supposed to be on Saturday, that's the 26th of February 2022, and now we are having uncertainty about the convention, which is supposed to be on Saturday, and now they are to postpone the convention. I know when you postpone this convention, it has a way of affecting the general election, because you're supposed to give notice of 365 days before the general election, which is to be February 18th, 2023. And now we are having issues concerning the convention. Downside, pregnant woman, 8 others burnt to death in Kwara Road crash. That's a sad story. Queen Elizabeth tests positive for COVID-19. 8 killed, 14 abducted as bandits attack Niger communities. Must we continue to record on every day concerning abduction in Niger State, abduction in Katsina State? Just last week Monday we had it in Katsina State, and now it's in Niger State. Is it that they choose a particular day for a week, they choose a particular state for a week? these bandits are having the guts now to go into and having the effrontery to go into different communities. They are bold enough to go into different communities. What are military doing? These are the questions we keep on asking. What is the military doing concerning this issue of insecurity? We have the chief security officers, we have the traditional rulers, we have the vigilante, we have the local hunters. What are they doing to safeguard their communities? If the military cannot come into this community, what about the local hunters in those communities? Something needs to be done. We should not be relaxed about this whole thing, because they don't just invade those communities just like that. They kill people. Must we continue to record deaths of people? Is it till a community is being wiped out before we can stand up to fight this issue? Something needs to be done about insecurity. And coming from all these local governments, all these communities, the annoying thing is that they pay levy, they pay tax to these bandits. Then why are we quiet about this whole thing? We keep on saying, if you are paying tax to these people, there's a communication between the both of you. How do you communicate with these people? And we are relaxed about it. And you are paying, not just, it's a large sum of money, Sele. They are paying to this bandits, they are paying to these people to keep their community safe. But irrespective, they are still attacking these people. We should not be quiet about it. We should not be relaxed about it. Starting from the local government level down to the federal level, we should not be relaxed about it. We should not be quiet about it. Just as you say, if we're quiet that it's not affecting us, definitely one day it will come to you. Because if you point 4 fingers at someone, one will definitely point back at you. Someday, even if not directly, to affect you indirectly. We need to do something about this insecurity.
Yes, so we really need to do something. And just when you look at the community, when you look at Katsina, Zamfara, Niger State, they always have these roots that connect them. And so these bandits have a way of shifting from one community to the other. And now we know it's a dry season. Even coupled with those, and will I say, the Fulani headers are always being used to cause confusion. Definitely, we'll be looking for greener pasture. And I think this should be an eye-opener for our security agency. Okay, they're about moving. Why don't we, check all those routes in the villages that they use, especially the bushes that they use to go from one community to the another. We are tired of hearing that an attack was launched in the community and no security agent was there. Until in the morning, you ask question, what happened? That is, if there are still people to testify to actually tell you what actually happened. So we really need to rise up and be on our toes. We are not here, trying to backlash our security agencies that they are not doing. They are trying their best, but we need them to do more. They need to be given all the equipment they need. They need the intelligence. If possible, they need to, have some, hideouts where they can hide so that they'll be able to see and make sure things are running smoothly in these communities.
Yeah, that's all for Daily Trust newspaper.
Okay, we'll be moving on now to the Voice of Liberty. The first story I would like to take here: thousands of imported vehicles trapped at seaport over VIN valuation. Join us to rebuild Kanu. APC Gandoji urges fractions. Adopters of Sokoto councillor demand 60 million naira ransom. That's quite sad. Another story: resign 25 civil society groups urges NNPC GMD Kyari Farouk Ahmed over lingering fuel crisis. No fewer than 25 civil society organizations of northern extraction under a coalition of Concerned Northern Forum yesterday called for the resignation of the group managing director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Ltd NNPC, Madan Kyari, and the CEO of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Engineer Farouk Ahmed, over the lingering fuel crisis being experienced across the nation. Recall that the country has for the past 3 weeks been thrown into fuel scarcity due to the imported adulterated fuel, causing long queues at petrol filling station. And to see, really, when you look at this hardship we've been going through, because directly or indirect, whether you have a personal car or you're using the public transport, we have been affected by this scarcity of fuel, because there are lots of queues up till now. we're still yet to, wrap our head around the fact that black marketers are having access to fuel. Meanwhile, other, fuel stations that are supposed to be more authorized are not able to have it. And, this would bring to mind, it seems there seems to be a foul play somewhere, because if black marketers are having fuel, then that means something somewhere is not right. I know because it also brings to mind with the fact that Nigeria is not the only country that import fuels, but we are yet to hear of any country that have reported that adulterated fuel is being, imported into their country. That is to show there have been carelessness on the side of the agency that are supposed to inspect to make sure that the fuel that come into the Nigeria is actually free of any metal or that is of excess or any other thing. So I think when you actually look at what the civil society groups are actually saying, to some point they have a valid point, because when we don't learn to address things in this nation, then we'll continue to record lots of laziness or lots of foul play going on in the community or in the country, and also other, sectors when it comes to what we're expected to do and we don't do it. I think even though the MD actually apologized to Nigerians last week, that hopefully we'll be able to record that there'll be access to fuel. People don't need to bring out all their cars because people are scared. So they tend to bring their entire cars from their houses and make sure they have excess. People with jerry cans just to, have storage. And this is not what we are supposed to be experiencing. If we are bragging that we have oil in our country, then let's work on how to fix our refinery. Let's work on what we need to do. We don't have to keep recording things like this. It's already 3 weeks. There's a hike in food prices. There's hike in transportation. And if I remember the other day you brought out the fact that how many organizations or even government agencies are willing to raise the salary of their workers, because when a transport fare that's supposed to be 50 naira is now 100 naira, the one is of 100 naira is now maybe 150, 200, and you did not bargain for that. I think we really need to look into this issue, because we are tired of the fuel crisis going on in the nation.
Yeah.
Other stories still from the Voice of Liberty. 2023 presidency. We have started consulting for Amici, said Prince Will. Electoral bill. Buhari doesn't like himself. He's under a cost. This is coming from Aisha Yusufu. She's charging the president. And on 2023, electorates may resort to stoning politicians during campaign. This is coming from a crack. And I'm actually, I'm looking at this story, that Nigerians have really, really gone through a lot. So it won't be surprising when we see politicians coming with manifestos that they cannot even live up to. Definitely the public will be pushed to stone them. And just like an eye-opener of what we've been going through in the nation, we always say it here, we are tired of where we are. Then it's high time the youth and every other person go to any polling unit, well, especially get your PVC and be at the polling unit and make sure you vote the right person. We will not tell you the party to vote, but we will tell you that you need to sit down and think right. Whoever is going to serve, whether it's for a year, 2 or 4 years, we should make sure that the person is someone that is of integrity, that the person has what it takes to serve. I mean, on Saturday, just not Basa will be having a by-election. And really, this will call to mind that we really need to be on our toe and do what is expected, even though it's just going to be for a year. But this should be an eye-opener for people to know that we need to do the right thing, because if we are tired of where we are, then we need to rise up and do the right thing.
Yes, we are used to long manifesto with so many agendas and not even one is being implemented. So talking about this, coming from Cleric, which says electorate may resort to stoning politicians during campaign, because just as you said, people are tired. People are tired of being in a particular spot for a long period of time. We look out for ways we can move forward. And you can see that these politicians are not helping matters. Look at the issues surrounding us as a country. When you talk about the Naira devaluation, our Naira is devaluated. Money is not in circulation. Insecurity has become the order of the day. People are no longer safe to even go and fend for themselves, go to their farmland any longer. So what is the government? What do they have to offer us? They have nothing to offer to us, because people are living in penury up till date, Sele. So you can see all this issue coming from this Cleric. We just hope that something will be done, and people need to shine their eyes come 2023 election, and even the by-elections that are taking place in different states. People need to be wise, not to be carried away by the little change that they will come and give to you. that money cannot help you, definitely. We should know that our vote is our power. We should come out in our numbers to vote and also make sure that our vote is being counted.
Exactly. Make sure our vote is being counted. And that is all from the Voice of Liberty.
Tele, I think you've missed one which says Yoruba ancestors will make you president. This is coming from Alafin, who is assuring Tinubu. And this is still in the Voice of Liberty. We know that Tinubu visited the Alafin of Oyo State, and he gave him his own, saying the Yoruba ancestors will come out, will make him president. You know, Tinubu is aspiring for the position of presidency come 2023. I keep on thinking, if the over 200 million Nigerians are the Yoruba ancestors that will vote, you can see the way people talk like they have the power in their hands. So like, we need to be conscious of all these things that are happening. The way, like, you can see the assurance given to Tinubu that the ancestors will make him. And even on another paper, you see some assurance, things the Tinubu is saying to Nigerians that he's going to make everything bloody if the election is not coming out in the right way. So you can see that things like this, we need to take the bull by the horn. We should not be relaxed, because even those people that are trying to aspire for these positions are not relaxed. And even still on this paper, we have the presidency. We've started consulting for Amechi. What have Amechi done? I keep on saying, look at all these people and look at their past history, what they've done in the position they are. Look at the transportation sector, Sele. We now have issues where a highway have been dedicated to banditry. That highway, people cannot pass there any longer with peace of mind because of the attack that they usually have from banditry. Look at our road. Look at Nupeng saying they are going to go on strike. Even tanker drivers said they are going to go on strike because of bad road. So you see some road, the pothole is as big as a gutter, and you see road being left to people in those communities to be the ones refilling those roads. Is that their duty? That is not their duty, Sele, but they are left alone to be the ones repairing their road. And you see roads dominated by banditry, and now we are having these people that are supposed to be the ones in charge of those things want to take a bigger mantle of power. I keep on saying, look at the little the little power the places you have to rule. What have you done in that position you were given? You want to take the bigger mantle, and you will still sit down and still have the blame game, because now we see issue of blame games passing on. You blame the previous government. You said the previous government are the ones who did this, whereas you've been in such position for over 7 years. What have you done? I keep on saying this is not time for Nigerians to be relaxed about it. People will say, I won't vote because even if I go out to vote, they already know who will assume that position. If we don't come out to vote, that's when they will have the power to rig. They have the power to, because we have the census have been conducted. They know how many Nigerians. So if you don't go out to vote, that position is vacant, and they will be able to rig. But if you come out in your number, definitely, if you come out in your numbers to vote, rigging will be very less for these people. We need to take the mantle of leadership in our hands. I know that the power to bring in the right government, it lies in your hand, irrespective of where you are, even in the local communities. And now, thank God, the registration for the voters card is ongoing. Go out to get your voters card, because that is the power. If it's not powerful, they won't come to you and solicit for your vote. If it's not powerful, they will not come to you and give you salt, give you wrapper, give you Maggi, because they know that if they don't need your vote, if they don't need that your voters card, they will be relaxed, because they know that I will come out, I will assume this power, even with or without your vote. So to show that your vote is very powerful, that's why they come to you. They try to cajole you with sweet words, but we should not be carried away by the words that will come, because this is time where you start seeing them coming to your locality that is not accessible by motor, but now it will be accessible because of what they need from you. So we need to be wise. We need to shine our eyes in every level. And also this should even come up in our church, where they should tell people the importance of our voters card, and even the need to go out to vote.
Exactly. So I'm totally in support of you. So it's high time that we shine our eyes and do the needful. And just like I always say, our PVC is our power. Don't just get it, but get it and use it appropriately.
And on Al Jazeera Nigeria, the big story says currency in circulation. CBN records all-time high 3.33 trillion naira. Says figure represents 418 billion naira rise compared to 2.91 trillion naira in December 2020. And on fuel scarcity, be patient. Federal government appeals to Nigerians. We should be patient for how long? With the inflation in prices, with the inflation in foodstuff, how long should we be patient? Because just when we had this issue of fuel scarcity, before you know, even the tricycle riders have had a meeting among themselves and increased the price fare. If you go to the market, are we going to tell the people that will buy foodstuff from that they should be patient? You can't tell them all those things because it's affecting everywhere. Within 24 hours, everything has been affected. The changes, everybody have experienced these changes. So looking at issue of saying we should be patient, federal government is appealing to Nigeria for how long should we be patient? You keep on saying all these things will end soon. For how long? I keep on asking because like all this is uncertain on how long we should be patient, on how long insurgency will end soon. We need all these things. We need fast action. This is not time for us to just sit down and be relaxed. We need fast action on how these things will end soon, and insecurity will end soon, and all this issue on fuel scarcity. We need fuel to be available in the market for people. Even this morning while coming to work, I saw the long queues. Even on the plateau, we still have the long queues, and this is risky even to the motorists, and if because this is now when armed robbers will try to attack even those people that are sleeping in the filling station just in order to get queues. And we see that the black market has now become the billionaires of our country because of how they get their fuel and how they hold the prices and increase the prices and sell to people. And just because people want to get fuel, they patronize these black marketers, and you see that this is not good to us as a country, and even not good to people who use all these means of transportation. So we need something to be done coming from the federal government and even the NNPC concerning the fuel scarcity. And we have on killings, South Africa assures of Nigerian safety. These details can be found in page 13 of the Al Jazeera newspaper. Serap threatens to sue governors over UBEC funds. Budget accuses lawmakers of diverting 100 billion naira constituency fund. NDLEA intercept fake $4.7 million in Abuja. Lassa fever death toll rise to 59 in 13 states. And here we have herdsmen kill 3 relatives of Governor Autumn. Troops eliminate top ISWAP commander, 3 others. And Oshun Guba, how Oyetola emerged APC candidate. Details can be found in page 9 of the Al Jazeera Nigeria. And that's all, Celeb.
You know, the story that actually caught my attention on that Jazeera is the budget accusing lawmakers of diverting 100 billion naira constituency funds. And I know we've been having that story for, I think, the past 3 weeks or from the beginning of January about how budget are trying their best to see that, you know, there are certain funds that are being given. It's either we're having the funds that are being diverted, or we're having that. Imagine you could hear that the Ministry of Agric is planning on a story, something that it has nothing whatsoever to do with its ministry. And you want people's tax, people's sweat, and money. They should look into this, regardless of who you are. I always say that the rule of law needs to take its place. If you use any money, you know, the president, you don't, okay, while you were giving the Ministry of Road and Transport, did you manage that place properly that we are willing to give it the whole of Nigeria to manage? This is not a child's play. We really need to be open about it in this country. I think the rate at which we, you know, handle certain things in this country, I really, you know, it's really sad. Here we're having SIRAP threatening to sue governors over UBA funds. These are funds that are supposed to be allocated to education. There are lots of people that don't have access to this, you know, education, and that fund is being made so that everyone can have access to education. We have countries that education is free throughout your nursery to your primary school, even to your secondary school. We have countries that do that, and we are capable of doing that in Nigeria. But then the little token that is supposed to be, you know, sent into that ministry, somebody decided to, you know, side fund that money. We really need to be open about in this country and really address certain issues. When one person is being used as a scapegoat, the others will dress properly and sit up and do what is expected of them. So I just hope something will be done. We'll not just, you know, having the stories on the paper, but we need to see names of. Moving on now to the New Telegraph paper. The first story, SDR, Nigeria may benefit as IMFI's reallocation, with the brighter federal government receive $3.35 billion out of $650 billion. Other story, Finance Act, fresh crisis looms over stamp duties collection. Fuel scarcity, TUC may direct workers to stop work. Now we see what this fuel scarcity is causing. This is scarcity due to inspection failure. And this is, they say, apologize to Nigeria. Well, we don't just need your apology verbally, but we need to see those things, you know. We need to see action. If you say fuel scarcity is going to end before the end of February, keep to your word and make sure that this week, when you know when they are failed, definitely people will know that, oh, yes, you are really sorry. But when you say you're sorry and then we can't see you doing anything about it, then it's as good as not even telling Nigerians sorry, because you're not doing what is expected of you to do. NYSC members offer scholarship to amputated boy in Benue. That's really a good one. Presidency, after Muslim, Christians should take over in 2023. And this is coming from Khan. As both religions are critical partners in Nigeria, said it will mobilize Christians to produce Buhari's successor. Reject Muslim, Christian ticket. You want to know more about that story? You can check page 2 of the New Telegraph. Other stories still from the New Telegraph paper. Aviation airline passengers grown as fare hit record high, with the rider hike in fares killing Nigerian desire to travel by air. United Airline Air Peace signed business pact. We need to collaborate, no more unhealthy rivalry. This comes from Okowo. And detail of that story can be found on page 3 and 7 of the New Telegraph. 5 days to APC convention. We don't know what's going on. This is what members are saying. CECPC is afraid to approach the Asu Rock. They need answers to why we are having the change of date in the convention. And the picture story here, we can see Tinubu and the Alaifa having a conversation, possibly about his presidency, where we hope that whatever is being done, just like we always say here, we want competent people that can actually run this country. We need people who are strong. We need people who are agile. We want people who have a vision for this country, not just people who are going there for their own selfish interests, but people who truly have the interests of Nigeria as a whole and also the citizens in the country.
Yes, and on the Punch newspaper, Nigeria lost 2,038 lives to air crashes in 53 years. On fuel scarcity, private depots hike rates. More filling stations may sell above 180 naira per litre. The rider says federal government admits inspection failure cost dirty fuel import. Prices soar in states. The big story on convention, APC battles consensus crisis as Buhari governors meet Tuesday. State chapters confirm readiness, await Buni's signal. Chairmanship aspirant laments planned postponement. And still on the Punch, we won't leave APC. Arebeshola's group vows as Oyetola defeats Adeoti. Pomo treated with industrial chemical dangerous. NAFDAC warns Nigerians, probes merchants. And on ASU strike, ASU NEC converges on Abuja today to meet with the federal government. Details can be found in page 18. Anti-Arebeshola's protest in Lagos. Demonstrators berate minister. Pregnant woman, 8 others die as Lagos-bound bus car collide and explode. Ondo kidnappers slip off. Abducted community leader escapes. Nursing mother on bail for illicit drug, rearrested with tramadol and others. And we have a picture story here with the Arebeshola's protesters, where you can see the picture with something being like a casket where they said R.I.P. Arebeshola. We can see the inscription also on the shirt with Arebeshola Sunreo, that's rest in peace. So you can see this is election. You will see so many things coming up. This is time of election. We just need to be wise about everything. That's all for the Punch newspaper.
Okay, before we move further to other papers, we shall be taking a time out. And when we come back, our phone lines will be open. Remember, we're live on Facebook and also on YouTube. We've been running through so many interesting stories, from the resignation of the NNPC MD to also, you know, the meeting that ASU will be having, to lots of other stories, you know, banditry in various parts of the country. Well, whichever story is of interest to you, when we come back from this timeout, please call us and let us know what you feel about any of the stories. We shall be right back.
Watching.
Just tuning in, it's still from the Dailies on ECWA TV Africa, and we've been looking at various stories from our Nigerian newspaper, from the meeting that ASU will be having today in Abuja to the resignation of the NNPC MD. You know, lots of civil society groups have come out to say he should resign if he's not capable of running that position, and also there have been other stories. So we'll really appreciate if you call us. Our numbers are displayed on your screen, so you should call us and let us know what you feel about any of those stories that have been on the papers. Moving on now to the Guardian newspaper, the first story I will be taking: local airlines struggle with depleting fleets, low market penetration. Okay, we have a caller. Hello, Shama from Kaduna. You are my first caller for today. Good morning.
Good morning, my sisters in the studio. Shaman calling from Kaduna.
Thank you. Go on, please.
Honestly, insecurity is carrying us on the fence, especially the kindred, that is called Qatar in southern Kaduna. There's no day that passes by that a man will not be slain or a woman will not be slain in my community. I don't know what we've done to do. We are crying to this government. This government knows that will meet God one day for judgment. Let them do the needful. People are being killed, houses are being burned, food stuff and whatever things for them and burned. And government is keeping it about this, for God's sake. Are we really having government? Is this government existing? If this government exists, Abu Hari knows that people stood under sun and rain and voted him into power. You should know that it's going to meet the wrath of God. What he has done in this regime, the blood of people that have been dropped on the soil in this regime, God in heaven will not let them just go. I pray that God in heaven will clean our tears, because enough is enough. Enough is enough. No one to take the Lord into our hands. But the government should do the needful. My submission this morning. Good morning.
Thank you, Shama from Kaduna. It's really a sad one that we keep recording that every life matters, and I believe and we're trusting that the government will be up and about. They still have lots of time to rectify their mistakes before the administration is being done. We are hoping and trusting that they will rise up to their responsibilities. And still on the Guardian newspaper, the writer from the local airline struggle says over 48 aircraft grounded, operators layers 12 to sustain local operation. High maintenance costs, Jet L. Exchange rate, hobble industry growth. Aero contractors struggle with staff salary. Federal government fails in pledges to deliver local maintenance organization. Leasing company 6 year on. It is time to save sector from collapse, say operators. Detail of that story can be found on page 2. Concerns over alleged move to shuttle APC convention. Detail of that story can be found on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. NAFDAC raises the alarm over circulation of contaminated pomo in Lagos. Hello, Mike Obey from Niger. Good morning, please. Let's hear your feedbacks.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, I can hear you. Please go on, Mike.
Okay. My question is,
Are they not used in Nigeria to pick up the mountain of leadership of the country? That is what I want to ask. Because I have a friend here who is telling me that Nigerian youth are lazy. Then I objected his statement. I want to know if Nigerians are the government of the country.
Okay, I think the network is bad. I would appreciate if you call us back again, Mike. Still on the Guardian newspaper, pregnant woman, 8 others burned to death in Kwara auto crash. After sharing 45 billion naira, FCT primary schools remain shut. We're just hoping that the schools will be open and so the students will go back to school. Detail of that story can be found on page 2 of the Guardian newspaper. If you're interested in any of those stories, just grab the Guardian newspaper. You can read detail on that.
And on Daily Independence, Buhari backs APC caretaker committee on planned convention shift. Still on fuel scarcity,
Okay, sorry,
federal
Tosi,
government.
I have a caller from Kaduna. Hello, please go on. Okay, please just go on.
Yes, on fuel scarcity, federal government appeal to Nigerians to be patient. Again, aviation fuel rises to 420 naira per litre as airline hike fares 100%. NDLEA intercept counterfeit $4.7 million in Abuja. Oyetola asks rival to close ranks with him to win July 22nd Guba poll. The rider says Arebeshola faction kicks consider heading to court. And that's all for the Daily Independent newspaper.
Okay, let's take a look at the business world, and this is from the national economy. 10 listed firms add 6 trillion naira to capital market capitalization. And detail of that story can be found on page 5 of the national economy. And the big story here, growing youth unemployment may set Nigerian back 5 decades, with the writer analysts say lack of plan to constructively engage youths disastrous. Did Nigeria? Okay, I have a caller. Hello, Pastor from Kaduna. Good morning.
Hello.
Please go on.
Hello. Yeah, good morning. Hello?
Morning, sir. Please go on. We can hear you.
Yeah, my name is Jesse from Kaduna. I actually have problem with the Muslim rulership in Nigeria. So I stand to support the idea of Khan saying that Muslim regime is over, Christians should be able to take over. If they can actually hold onto their words and encourage us, and if they are truthful, I think it's a good idea. Hello?
Yeah, thank you, Jesse. We can hear you. Really appreciate your comments about the story, your views on it. And he actually has a right to his opinion. He's entitled to his opinion. But we believe that the right thing will be done regardless of your religion. But we should have people who are competent and accountable. They can truly rule Nigeria. Still on the national economy, we have other stories. Meet National Economy Board of Economics. Detail of that can be found on page 8 and 9 of the national economy. Capacity building, NIMASA review. Hello, John from Bauchi. Please go on with your comments.
Good morning.
Morning, please go on. Move away from your TV set.
Calling from Bachi.
Thank you.
I want to comment on the issue. There is
Go on.
something that somebody just said just now. Issue of Muslim ruling the country is not what will solve Nigerian problem. The Nigerian problem is unity. We are lacking unity in our Nigeria. If you go to scripture, all human beings are created by God, irrespective of Muslim or Christians. It's not the issue. So we should leave issue of Christian and Muslim aside and focus on how to better our country. That is the issue in Nigeria. Greediness is what has been the major issue that is bothering our country, not religion. So that is all my contribution. I thank you people for your program.
Thank you so much for your views on that. I truly, just like I said, it's not about the religion, but we need competent people who can run the country. Just like, our will I say, a theme for the country, peace and unity, progress. This is what rules Nigeria, and this is what we should see in the country. And, looking at the big story from the national economy about growing youth unemployment may set Nigeria back 5 decades. So you truly agree with me that when the environment is not palatable for the youth, definitely to set Nigeria backward. And that is why we've always been pleading on the federal government to make sure that the environment is conducive. If we're able to handle or tackle the issue of insecurity, then the youth will be able to create job opportunities for themselves. But when we are not able to handle insecurity, then definitely the environment will not be conducive. There will be no investor that will be coming to the country. The youth cannot think the trauma that comes with this. So these are truly issues we need to. Okay, hello, Joseph from River State. Please go on. You have 30 seconds.
Yes, good morning.
Morning, please go on.
Good morning. Yes, one family. I am talking about the promo that is everywhere going on, that NAFDAC has said about it now. The thing is too much. The government should look into it immediately before everybody will start dying innocently.
Thank you so much for that comment. And we believe the government are listening, that they will truly inspect every foodstuff that come into the market so that it don't become disastrous to the health of Nigerians. And like I was saying, Tosi, concerning making the environment conducive for youth and for any other person that would like to invest in Nigeria, because truly unemployment is eating us. Corruption is really eating this country deep. It's even deeper than any diseases we're having, Lassa fever or corona or the cholera. Truly, we really need to do something to make sure that we make Nigeria palatable so that we'll be able to have growing businesses, investors will be attracted and they will come into the country. And that is all from the national economy.
And on Business AM, SPDC, Shell will go to Owerri Court to appeal $1.95 billion judgment debt.
Okay, Tosi, sorry, I have another call. Hello, Joseph from Kaduna. You have 30 seconds. Please go on with your views.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. Please go on. You have 30 seconds.
How is today?
Fine, thank you.
I am listening to the discussion this morning. I want to say something about the economy. And somebody mentioned something about religion. You see, one thing is disturbing us. Those people who claim to be religious are saying it from the mouth. If they practice it from their heart, they will not be stealing. Corruption will not be there. But the fact is this. People come and confess that they are religious. And they go and sit down there and start stealing. How do we allow our industries in this country to crumble? Assuming we have testers working, If one tester employs 5,000, running 3 shifts in a day, the feeding of the families of those 5 people, the extended families will equally be feeding from there. Take the other people that are selling pure water in the provinces. People selling gari, eba. The loaders and offloaders of those raw materials and finished goods, they will equally be feeding from there. Why is government giving money to people to sit down when they have not done anything? Say unemployment, they give you money. They are not going to put the money into production. They will be eating. And that is how the West will continue. Why not utilize this money? Refurbish all the industries that have crumbled. Bring back to life. The people will now be having gainful employment. By so doing, we'll move forward. So I feel government should utilize money and reactivate all those failed industries, especially textiles. Textiles will boost cotton farming. Farmers will be gainfully employed. I don't understand. I am not in government, and I'm not a politician. But one thing the politicians are doing, the money that is meant for us to keep us alive, they corner it, and they come and start buying little things and giving us, and we'll be shouting and fighting ourselves and be carrying them up and carrying their names up. They are not sincere. But if we have people that are religious, that have it from their heart, that are not stealing government money, it has come to a point. If you don't steal from government, you cannot contest election. Look at how much are they using in purchases of forms to contest. How many poor good people that have not stolen will be able to get that amount of money to buy form to contest election? So I feel religious should not be forgotten. It is the one that gives us the fear of God. That you know that there is somebody that is above and watching you and recording what you are doing, and that you will be answerable to him. Then if you are religious, then you will not be stealing. You will live a life that is acceptable to God and acceptable to man. So I will encourage government to bring up religion. The teaching of religion from primary school to all tertiary institutions should be encouraged. We should not discourage religion, but we should not use it as a weapon to go and start stealing. The Lord will help us.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Joseph, for that very good contribution. Tosi. Yeah, he has truly, it seems like he tried to, set everything. He summed up everything. True religion is not you saying I'm a Christian. But true religion is from your actions. People should see it. So, Tosi, can you just round up that paper so we can close for the day?
Yes, and here we still have the big story, which says negative oil sector growth, real threats to revenue targets. Elumelu decries loss of oil price rally, concerns over fiscal sustainability. And here, commodities and agriculture boost with solar irrigation. That's all for the business
Thank you so much, Tosi, for doing this with me. And this is where we need to call it for a wrap from the Dailies. Do, keep date with us tomorrow again, where we should come and also look at other stories. And, keep a date with us because we have other programs lined up just for you to be entertained and also for you to be educated. Until I come your way again, I'm Sarah Elisha and Tosi Wolabi. We say a very big thank you to all our supporters and to also the Equa executive for making a platform like this. Have a blessed day ahead.